What's up guys, Coach Az here, and today I want to give you a couple of tools and a couple of things that I like to use if I'm training on my own. This year has been really difficult for martial arts with a lot of lockdowns and clubs being closed down, etc. So we've really had to adapt to be able to keep up our training, whether it be at home, outdoors, or anything like that. So today I'm going to go over some of the things that I've been using at home to help me stay in shape and to help me keep my training interesting, because you can only do shadow boxing for so long. So these little tools just help to mix things up as we go. Now I'll preface this video by saying I'm not sponsored by any of the items in this video. I bought them with my own money and I do use them all the time in my own training. Links to everything will be in the description box below if you want to pick any of it up for yourselves. I'm going to get the painfully obvious one out of the way, and that's a good punch bag. Now here I've got a freestanding bag. You'll see these in all of my videos. It lets me do my indoor classes, which I've been teaching via Zoom, and it allows me to get my own training in. Now if you've got an outdoor space or you've got room indoors, a hanging bag is a great option as well. Freestanding bags for me just allow me to move it around and have it exactly where I want it to be. Check out some bags, do some research, but really it's an essential tool for being able to practice your technique, get your cardio working, get some conditioning in, and just generally feel like you're still a martial artist, because without partners to do pad work, to do sparring, this becomes your best friend. This becomes your training partner. Go get yourself a punch bag if you haven't done. If you don't have anywhere to hang a bag and you don't have room for a freestanding one, even just getting something to work on the floor to do some ground and pound, such as a kick shield or a workout dummy, or even just a bag that you put on the floor, it just feels really good to have something to hit, guys. So try to figure out a way that you can have something indoors that you can put some gloves on and strike a little bit when training at home. The next one is some hand weights. Now, I'm going to do a whole video talking about working punches with weights or working with ankle weights when you kick, because I think it's a much deeper topic, but I'll give you the short version of it here. You don't ever want to do this with heavy weights. It's not about trying to go up down the dumbbell rack and get to the heavier weights and work your punches. All you're trying to use is a very small amount of weight to add a little bit of extra strain for your shoulders, because really all we're doing here is developing our shoulder conditioning and our ability to last and go longer with our punching combinations. The common misconception is that if you train with weights whilst punching, that you're going to make your punches stronger. However, this isn't true, because simply we're adding extra resistance down as opposed to in the direction that we're punching in. What we're not doing is putting resistance behind the punch, such as using a resistance band, which I'll talk about later, but we're adding weight down on our body, which just means our shoulders have to work harder to hold our arms up when we're striking. Now the weights I've got in my hands are about 2 pounds each in terms of weight. That's about as heavy as you'd probably want to go. These have actually come from the inside of my power block dumbbells, but you can get small handheld dumbbells really easily online. I'd actually recommend you get some rubber ones, because these are going to be easier for you to grip, especially when your hands start to get sweaty. Keeping with that idea of adding resistance to your training, a great set of resistance bands and some good attachments are an amazing addition to your training. Now, it's really important that you get the right types. The type of resistance bands I'm talking about have got little attachments on either end. What these mean is that you're able to hook them onto things. So I use them in two different ways. I either anchor it to the floor and use an ankle wrap so that I can work my kicks, or I wrap it around something or tie it to a tree or a bar so that I can work my punches. Now, what we spoke about earlier when we were talking about using light weights, about the direction of the resistance. If you see this example where I'm working across, what I've now got is resistance going in the direction of the punch. So in terms of developing more power through the correct movement, this is far more effective than punching with weights. Understand, it doesn't mean that punching with weights is useless, it just means it has a different purpose. So if you really want to start developing extra power and adding some power training in, then resistance bands is the way to go. The beauty of resistance bands, of course, is that you can get them in a range of weights, as in how much resistance they provide to you. So as you get stronger and as you develop, you can continue to add to your collection. Like I said, I also use it for kicks. So here I've got it anchored down to the floor and I'm working my roundhouse kick. And again, it's always trying to pull my leg back. So I've got to work that little bit harder to develop the strength in my hips. I actually really enjoy this drill to help me develop the speed. So not necessarily to make my kicks more powerful, but the added resistance means that it's difficult to kick with my maximum speed. I work a couple of sets with the resistance band on, and then I take it off so that I can compare, and I can feel a real immediate difference in just how fast I'm able to kick. When I first saw this next one, I really thought it was a proper gimmick. I really just laughed at videos of people practicing with these and using them, and I couldn't really see the utility. However, desperate times call for desperate measures, and during lockdown, I took the plunge and I bought one for myself. And this is the ball on a string. I'm not actually sure what you'd call it. I think it's called a boxing reflex timer. The idea here is simple. It's a headband with a bungee rope attached to it and a ball on the end. The objective, keep punching the ball and keep it in the air and try to get a sequence combination of straight punches whilst maintaining the ball up in front of your eyes. Now, this is much harder than you think it is. It took me a long time to be able to just get a basic 1-2 going with this for more than 3 or 4 punches at a time. However, I found it really enjoyable to train with. It really helped me to develop a little bit more of a reflex, and what it gave me, which I couldn't get at home, was something to react against. The bag is great, but the bag is very predictable. I know how it's going to move, I know what it's going to do, and even a hanging bag, once you've trained with it for a while, becomes very easy to predict. This, on the other hand, is quite unpredictable, and it's ever changing. And the faster you go, the more difficult you can make it, so you can really gauge up your experience as you go with it. Now, how well does it actually translate to improving your boxing? I'm not sure on that one, to be honest. It might even create some semi-bad habits in terms of putting you in the wrong position or making you punch downwards, because more often than not, that ball is going to be below your eye line. However, as something to just mix into your training or use as a warm-up drill, I found it to be super effective and really enjoyable. The final one, guys, is get yourself a decent skipping rope. Now, when I say a decent skipping rope, I actually just mean a really cheap, really affordable, and very simple one. Don't worry about these weighted ones or expensive ones made of leather. Just get yourself a simple, basic speed rope. Speed rope and skipping rope has been in striking martial arts for the longest time as a great drill for agility and conditioning, as well as cardio. So incorporate it in, and if you're no good at it, start really simple. 2-footed jumps together or 1 foot after the other. Watch some YouTube videos. I'll try to do a video on it in the future to cover some of the details, and just build it up over time. Again, it only needs a small amount of space, and it's a great way to vary up your workouts. If you've done too much running, if you're no longer wanting to hit the bag, you just want to mix up your training, the speed rope is a great thing to incorporate. It's also really small, so it's great for when you're traveling, really easy to carry around. Guys, as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. More great videos coming every week. It really helps the channel if you hit the like button for us, so if you could just press that for me real quick, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see anything else, please comment down in the section below, and I will see you on the next one.